Hotel Intel.
Hi everyone, I'm Chanita Susewi, and today I will be interviewing Kun Cham Siradej Donavanik about his new project, Asai brand, and we're very excited. Let's get to the point. Can you explain a little bit the name Asai?
Asai?
Yes.
Well,
who came up with it? What does it mean? And what does it mean to you?
Okay, so Asai, as you know, in Thai means to live, but also to rely on, right? We feel that we want to be the neighborhood hotel that is a part of the community. So this is why we love the name so much, because with that meaning, it reflects our DNA and our philosophy of who we are. And so this is why it resonates so well. Not only just about hotel brand in itself, but also about the culture around how we operate our own hotel too.
So the community that the hotel takes place.
Exactly,
where
exactly. And and Asai means also to live as well, right? So for us, we just love that. We love to live well, to collaborate well with people. That is something that's really, really important for us. And that's why we work with so many players in the both in the industry and also outside the industry, getting that creativity and then using the brand as a platform almost of for hospitality.
What made you realize that there was a need for this type of hotel or lifestyle brand, as you would describe your platform?
Because we see there's a lot of similarities about about what we call the affordable lifestyle hotels in the market, but we just thought that we want to create something where we, like what I mentioned, where we can build it as a platform so then other people can come and collaborate with us. For example, we have this restaurant called Jam Jam, and the reason why we call it Jam Jam is that we allow people to come in and actually jam with us. For the chefs, for the organic farmers, we have our organic farm in the middle of our lobby to come in and actually just jam with us. And we have not seen much of this going on in the affordable segment yet, right? And I thought, why not? Why don't create something that we can bring in a lot of creativity, bringing in a lot of authenticity, and then just make it happen, because I think that's what also the new generations of customers also wants and needs as well. Yeah.
A lot of our listeners today will be potential hotel owners, of course, and I just wanted to ask, what are some of the unique selling qualities that you think are very special about Asai for hotel owners who might be interested in your brand?
We actually focus a lot on our cost structure. We look at what we do not need in a normal traditional hotels, and we take a lot of these things out. So we have a look at, let's say, the lobby. Do we really need a lobby? In fact, we could say that we're sitting in the lobby now, but it's not really. This for us is more of a games room. You see that it's a receptionist. We only have 2 receptionists on at any given time, and that's it. We don't need more than that, right? We have that counter, in which actually, for us it's super efficient because it's self check-in. It's basically online check-in. That's what we want to work at. Checking in, it becomes such a mundane task now, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to have 5-6 people doing that anymore.
Definitely
Everybody
not.
can actually do that. So we're looking at how do we leverage the time of our staff to be able to create that meaningful experience as much as possible without needing to have the excess of it. Right. So when we look at how we re-engineered our whole operations, we look at what we really need and what we don't really need, and can see how low we can go in terms of the staff to room ratio, right? So if you're thinking about let's say a normal limited service affordable hotel would be around 0.4, 0.5. We can actually go down to 0.36. That's what we're actually working on. So that is basically one of our key success factors, is that how do we leverage technology as much as possible in order to, obviously minimize the use of staff as much as possible. So that is something. So that's something that's very, very important. Sorry, I just got to have this It's a Bloody Mary on a Friday.
I mean,
and this
I
is-
don't mind. I'm
it's
not
a-
complaining.
It's a
Thank
Friday.
you.
That's why we need to celebrate. You know, a little bit.
Since you brought up re-engineering operations and whatnot, how has COVID changed the way you do business and how you operate?
Yes. So I mean, actually, and this is kind of linked to your questions earlier as well about like the business model of Asai. So yes, it's really we're in a very, very difficult moment. But the way that we have developed the hotel is that okay, how can we turn our square meters into revenue generating space as much as
Right.
possible, right? How do we make ourselves as lean as possible? So these elements, in essence, is already like helping us so much already with our with how we operated this. The fact that I told you that we basically create this as a platform for hospitality is that what it means is that we would basically allow for activation to happen. If you can see here now what's happening in our courtyard. Tomorrow we have an event with Silapakon University to come in and do like an art workshop there. They will hold like events here. Last night we had bunch of these like Spanish chefs that comes in. They got stuck here because of COVID. They have no kitchen here, so they're like, let's do a takeover. We did like 170 covers in 2 days, for example. So we keep on trying to do new things. Understand that there's no inbound tourists yet, right? So we have to see what can we make the most of the domestic market as much as possible.
Right.
And that is by doing by creating new kind of
Experiences.
events, new experiences, exactly, which is actually really, really important. And that's what the local community looks for anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Some of the guests who I met yesterday, they were also saying like, this is the best Spanish food I've ever had in Thailand.
That's what
And
I've heard.
Exactly.
I saw a lot of press on
Yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
feed. A lot of my friends were here actually.
Yeah, exactly. So so for us, it's that kind of unique experiences that we want to do, and then that can also attract the local market at the same time. And it's really, really fun for us anyway. We want to work with like-minded people. We want to have more creativity
Millennials.
inside the hotels. Exactly.
Much like myself.
Exactly. So that's why we I think will it be the solution that we seek? No, because obviously nothing can replace the margins that we get from having the room revenues. But I think for us, it's something that we will need to keep on pushing and striving. We're holding events on the 3rd of October, which we have. We used to do this pop-up at Wonderfruit 2 years ago. It was super successful. We collaborated.
Which one was it?
It's called the Hamlet. So we collaborated, with Hendrickson and Tropic City, and so we're basically doing a pop-up of that event, of that camp here on the 3rd of October. So please, everybody, you should come.
Well, I'll be here.
Yeah, exactly. And what it is, we're working with people, Dylan of Bolan. They're doing the food here.
Oh, yeah.
Tropic City is coming in. They're going to curate cocktails for the bars here. They're going to be managing our bars for 2 days. We're going to have, electro Morlam band that's going to be playing music in the courtyard. DJs coming up, and then
Is this a day party, or is it?
It's both day and it's. A day we're gonna have the wellness events because then during the day we have coffee tasting by Kun Lee from Akhang Akha Alma.
Yeah.
And then and then we have like cacao ceremony. We have sound therapy. So we're
Sound therapy as well.
We're doing quite a lot of stuff. This and then people can actually come and stay. So we sell the rooms as well. So people that want to come in, they want to get
Do you have
wellness.
special rates for locals right now?
Yeah, we do. We also have special rates for the event that's coming up on the 3rd as well. So and people can actually come in, they can stay, they can explore around Chinatown. This for us is one of the most interesting area to be in.
That brings me to the next question. Of course, every single decision regarding Asai must be strategic. It's your baby. So why Chinatown for your first flagship?
I just think that this is such an amazing area. Like, my question is, why not Chinatown, right? For me, it's a place where I think for the last 6-7 years, I've been bringing, people here when I have guests coming from abroad. Before that, I used to, yeah, you're right, thanks for the reminding. before that, I used to, go take my friend to Tong Lo, to Sukhumvit.
So over it.
Exactly. So, I still live there and I like it. But whether for me, like, is it, interesting enough? No, definitely not as much as this area, So, so for me, like, this is a place where, like I said, like for the last, I think 5-6 years, I, have friends coming over. If they really want to see the real Bangkok, for me, this is the real Bangkok. It's
the
kind
old
of like
town
it's an old town, exactly. I mean, but it's still kind of like in the middle between like the commercial district and then also like the old town as well, the palaces and the temples. And now like with us having MRT, which is only 2 minutes walk down the road,
a stone throw away.
Exactly, it's just super easy. The other night I was doing the wine events here with Kim from Wine Garage, and he came over.
Oh, he's lovely.
And then he went back home, and then he basically texted me, and he's like, "Wow, I can't believe it's like literally 15 minutes from like Assault," and then he just literally took MRT
I think it's
to Assault.
strategically located in the middle of everything, right?
Exactly,
here.
exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that as well. I mean, imagine the content in which we have here, the restaurants, the bars, all the attractions, the art galleries around here. All the little small
There's
streets.
so much to see and so much to do.
Exactly, so much, and the food is amazing. Honestly, like some of the best foods I've eaten are like around this area here, and it's super cheap as well. So for me, like, yeah, it's definitely a no-brainer. I love this area so much.
Amazing food doesn't have to break your bank account. So,
Exactly.
where do you see Asai going? What is your future plan for Asai?
I mean, like, we have 7 hotels. This is the first.
Coming up, how many
yeah.
keys total coming up in the next year
we
or so?
have. I mean, altogether with the 7 hotels, we have about 1,000 rooms already.
In which locations?
So we have. We have one coming up next year, which is going to be in Sathorn, Soi 12. Again, amazing location. I love that street as well. In Sathorn, we want to be in areas where there's vibrant neighborhoods, right? And then also we have one coming up in Yangon, hopefully at the end of next year as well. We also have 3 coming up in the Philippines, in Cebu. And then,
3?
Yeah, exactly.
3 in
yeah.
Cebu.
Yeah, the first one would be a resort destination. In Oslo, where they have like the whale shark watching and everything.
Totally.
So it will be our first kind of a resort property, in which we're going to call it Asai Tropical. That's going to be like our Asai version of like the resort version of Asai Hotel. And then we have one coming out in Kyoto, in Japan as well. So
Kyoto.
So that's also an amazing location. 7 minutes walk from the JR, the Kyoto train station. So yeah, I mean we're super excited. But right now like, our focus is obviously to really making sure that there's the proof of concept actually works. So that's what we're doing now. We are all working very hard. Obviously, as you know, launching a brand is
during
not,
COVID
it's
times.
not easy task. Right? During the COVID time is really an uphill struggle. But it's something, it's a challenge that yes, like look, there's nothing that we can do about it. Let's just put our heads down, making sure that we stick to our game plan, and then obviously iterate. Let's see, and people ask me, why do you open up the hotel now? I'm like, well,
I'm sure
I
you
think,
had this in the plannings.
Yeah, exactly.
Much
I say to people that perfection only comes after iteration. So for me, it's like, what? Let's go out to the market. Let's get validation. Let's see what we've done right. Let's learn from what we've done wrong, and then come back, and then let's continuously disrupt ourselves. And for me, like that is the attitude that
continually disrupt ourselves.
Exactly. So that's that's the kind of attitude that like that myself and our management and our team have, and that's what we need to do. We need to see what works, what doesn't work, and then just. Yeah, just.
So I guess your plan for how to execute the future of Asai is just trial and error and keep going.
Basically,
no matter how
exactly.
challenging.
Exactly. I mean, now we have this product already. The product itself is well. I mean, I love the product. I think majority of people that comes here, they look at the product, they're like, wow, this is like really cool. It's almost like this hidden gem in Chinatown almost, and hopefully it won't be hidden any longer. But,
everyone will know about it.
Exactly. So hopefully, but like the product, I think is great. The location is it's really amazing. So now it's just for us to really go out and then see what we can do with this new baby.
I guess last thing, it's not really a question. I was wondering if you could describe a suggested way to stay at Asai. Say you're spending 5 days here. What would be your recommendations for people coming from abroad if they're coming to stay at Asai Chinatown?
I mean, there's so much to do. You look at our website, we have over 120 places that we recommend. I mean, our website right now is still a makeshift website. We basically launching a new website at the end of October next month, in which we have all the interactive guides and map. But now there's already all the information is already there. There's all these restaurant, bars. You can do your own itinerary. That you can basically go and email to yourself as well. There's so much to explore. So I suggest asaihotels.com has all those
all
things.
the recommendations.
All the recommendations. Now we're doing packages for the weekend that would have the wellness program as well. So we would basically do yoga, guided meditation, sound healing, sound therapy in the morning, and then in the afternoon we do a tour. We basically have a small booklet that we basically give to people. Spending half a day with us, spending a day with us. There's just so much, but even on foot you can just see hundreds of different things around this area, and that's the beauty about it.
Who do you think Asai is for?
It's for, I would suggest it's for everybody. It's for it's for really much for those that that's curious about this area, about Thailand. I mean, about Bangkok, this part of Bangkok in particular. But also our hotel brings a lot of community together. Like I said, we work with local artists. We work with the guy that just walked past that I told you. That was a guy that
the Chinatown expert.
The Chinatown expert. This guy gives TED talk, about Chinatown. He knows everything about the Chinatown. He doesn't even tell us that okay, fine. This is a street that has this region of Chinese immigrants that came over. He even goes into the detail about the architecture, the food, why is the food in this district of Chinatown tastes like this, why is it like this. There's just so much more content, and we basically work with these kind of guy to bring out some of these content and to really engage the local community, and we do engage the local community in many meaningful ways as well. We focus a lot about sustainability, so we ban all of plastic. And
I noticed that the straw is quite interesting, right?
Yeah, so this is basically sugar cane. It's biodegradable. We have our own organic farm. We do our own food waste. Waste management. And for us, this is something that for those that want to travel and have a meaningful impact, it's just something that.
Do you have any additional questions?
Some questions from our audience. So one question from Nick Day. I live next to your upcoming Saffron property. What can I expect might be available to me as someone from the local area? Which leads to a related question. How do you think hotels need to change now and focus on services for locals as well as international tourists? How should hotels change their focus?
Yeah, well, again, we are doing something that is quite, different. Like I just mentioned, yesterday we had, the Spanish chefs that basically came in. He's got this guy is stuck here because of COVID. He can go back home for the last 4 months.
There are worse places.
And then for us, so we want to keep coming up with this new content, with these new ideas, this new activation, in which we actually do almost on a weekly basis. There's we are collaborating with these guys as well. They basically used to do wine bars in New York, organic wine bars in New York. Now stuck here because of COVID as well. And we're basically doing a wine bar takeover with them in 2 weeks' time. So we want to create interesting content that is meaningful, but also that is actually quite unique. So that is something that that we will continue to continuously do. Regarding to the Sarton. So in Sarton we're collaborating with Chef Bo and Chef Dylan to basically do a Thai street eats street food in that location. So you can expect amazing Thai street eats. Expect amazing cocktail using local ingredients Thai herbs and spices. We have our own craft beer that we are also launching as well. Our craft beer is called Chai Lane. We are launching Chai Lane. Yeah, we
Can you explain the name a little bit? I have no idea what it means.
Chai Lane is
Oh,
Chai Lane, yeah. So Chai.
You gotta say it with a Thai accent.
Yeah.
Now we know.
My Thai is terrible. My English is equally as terrible. But Chai Lane is a mangrove forest, right? That's the meaning of it. So for us, we're launching this craft beer next month. Where some of the proceeds will go to support
and the name is
the mangrove
is
forest
it the
as well.
consistency that will remind people of the mangroves? Why the name?
No.
What's
Because
the name?
because like I was saying. So basically, like I mean, like we obviously trying to be a sustainable hotel. We want to, kind of pick on kind of like the topics that is like really kind of that we're passionate about.
Yeah.
And like mangroves is one of the most important components of our ecosystem, right? And it's basically being destroyed, as we speak. So
by us.
So what we want to do is that we want to basically create this beer. It's kind of like a tropical Pilsner kind of vibe with a hint of coconut.
Wow.
And then obviously some of the proceeds from the craft beer will go support the conservation project of the mangrove forest down south of Thailand. So we keep on coming up with new interesting content like this. We work with small wine producers, small craft beer producers. That I think would be quite interesting for the local people to experience.
Another one, is it a good time to open hotel?
No, it's a terrible time to open a hotel. Like it's like one of the worst times to be in the hotel industry
Who
ever.
asked that question?
But you know what? I mean, like I said, look, I mean, we've already have staff on board. We already have people who've embarked on this journey with us, and like what I said, look, we can just we can just keep on closing the hotel or not opening the hotel. But then again, then we would never really know what we've done right or what we've done wrong, right? And for me, we just got to just give it a go. We just got to try it. I mean, we have people here anyway. Sure, yeah, of course, the next big thing is going to be the utility costs and the electricity and the water and whatever. But, at least, look, if we've done something wrong, at least we can learn from it. And that, for me, is the most important thing. It's a new brand. It's a new business model. Look, what we basically thought of about 2 years ago, we don't know whether it's going to work or not. And that's why I said, right now, I'm not really, exactly, right now I'm not really focusing on, expanding the hotel. My focus is just really to make sure that there's a proof of concept, it can work, and then we just need to iterate it as we go.
You mentioned could I ask another question? Just a personal question from me.
How are you going to compete with other hotel operators?
As a hotel management company? That's interesting. So, look, we're still, even though we're a new brand, we're still part of Dusit, right? We leverage on, the infrastructure of Dusit International, the global sales and the regional sales offices that we have, the distribution system, all this very much all the technical stuff that that we basically plug ourselves in, the loyalty programs. Dusit themselves, they have 1.4 million members that we basically plug ourselves to. So we still, even though we're a new baby, we're a new brand, we just launched last Tuesday, we also have a bigger infrastructure that really helps to support us in that front as well. But to be honest, I don't think anybody is doing well right now, right? I mean, and we're not doing well ourselves too. So I guess, we just need to just find ways to, like what I said, look, be creative, see how we can really, manage our costs and be as lean as possible. So, actually, like you can see now, I mean, we basically have, people at the front desk that know how to basically, go and serve a damn good cup of coffee. For example, we do multitasking, job rotations, upskilling, and this is something that we will continuously do. Yeah.
And you mentioned in Thailand there will be Sathorn and this one, the flagship.
Yeah.
Will there be more?
Yeah,
If yes, which destinations are you eyeing?
Oh man, I love for us to be on the beach somewhere. I really wanted. I was working last year to get the project off the ground in Samui, but unfortunately it wasn't the right time for us, so we kind of put it on hold. I would love to be just on the beach somewhere. I've got a really, really cool concept for Asai Tropical.
Similar to the ones in Cebu.
Yeah, exactly. And
proof of concept there.
Yeah,
bring it back home turf.
Exactly. But cities like in Chiang Mai, it's such a charming, amazing city with so much content.
Are you open to working with existing properties?
Yeah, for sure.
existing properties, rebranding
Yeah,
as well?
for sure. I mean, the way that like Asai, the way that we work is that we are quite. I wouldn't say that we are flexible, but we are very, very adaptable, right? I mean, if you go and have a look at our rooms is actually, it's. I mean, everything that you ever need.
I would love to see one.
Is that? But I mean, but it's not something like out of like a rocket scientist lab or something. It's just something that is super easy. It's comfort. It's got a high degree of comfort, and it's just something that it can be fits in because our room is not that large.
What's the average size?
Well, this property is a little bit bigger because this property is a takeover of the other.
Oh, it is
of the other hotel chain as well. So this one is a little bit bigger. This one is about 18 square meters. The one in Chinatown is about 16 square meters. So because we're quite small, we can actually slice and dice, rooms, and we have quite quite an adaptable design anyway. We have our own in-house design team that works at curating all these little kind of design components.
Thank you.
So last one before we go, what is your projection for the next 5 years for hospitality industry? What do you think would happen in the next 5
Well,
years?
I think the next 2 years is going to be really, really difficult. I think providing that our species gets our act together, we will probably see hopefully some kind of a solution like a vaccine. But I think look, this is for me I see this as a big disruption for sure. But I still think tourism will always return. I don't see ourselves I think a banking industry where that for me is not only just a disruption, it's a paradigm shift. For us, yes, this is a massive a disruption, but I see tourism will always come back for me. But it's just a matter of how long. And to be honest, I don't know yet. It's going to take 3 years or it's going to take 5 years. I can pretty much say that we can write off next year. That's for sure. No, I mean, but look, it's a reality, right? And then we just have to see what we can do to attract the little market in which we have. Unfortunately, yes, people will suffer. And that is probably one of the greatest, loss to our industry. But I think us as a participant in this industry, we need to just go out, collaborate with people, find new content, find new differentiation, see how we can capture, the domestic, the local market in a meaningful way. Go into the details, just don't say that we're gonna basically invite you to come to our hotel so that you can eat some pad thai. No, go into the details, bring out, what is the identity of your locations, what is the asset of your destination, and then bring that back because that's what we as a domestic market travelers love. So
Yes, and I guess that's what's missing now too.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
I've learned so much. Love your brand.
Cheers. Thank you.
Hotelintel.co. Hotelintel.co